Yes, hello. My name is Michael Dugdale. I'm a physics teacher at John Abbott College in St. Anne de Bellevue, but I'm here representing myself. I just wanted to had a few comments on some of the things that I've heard today. I did get a little bit of a cold chill go down my back when I heard, the idea of using U.S.-style takedown notices, kind of along the lines of the DMCA. Without any sort of judicial overview of regarding this has become something in which it's really acting to stifle free speech in the States, and there have been numerous instances of abusive uses of these takedown notices. I would hate to see that really kind of reflected in Canada. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms is quite clear on our ability to communicate freely, and not that I support piracy of any measure, but I would really hate to see honest free speech impeded just by ISPs trying to avoid lawsuits. The other thing is the question of going after the ISPs to make it a little bit more easy to go after people who are infringing or allegedly infringing. How does one do that without, really infringing on, the right to privacy? I mean, without deep packet inspection, without really looking at what people are doing, which is basically tantamount to wiretapping. If you do that without court order, that's a very, very chilling prospect to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm going to give a chance to people that haven't had spoken first, so I'm going to go to mic 4, mic 1, to Nicole, and then finally mic 3, and that'll be it for today. Thank you. Sir. Okay.
My name is Sam Goldberg. I'm a retired historian, although I'm speaking for myself at the moment. What amazes me this afternoon is, despite the many legitimate viewpoints expressed by the different interest groups, there has been nobody who's raised the question of the disadvantaged in our society and on the international stage. Surely, no matter what you do in the Copyright Act, it's going to negatively impact the poorer people in the world. So how does one balance the protection of the creators and the distributors of knowledge and the rest of the world that is getting poorer and poorer all the time? And it seems to me that the Act, if nothing else, is designed to protect the rich rather than to protect humanity.
Thank you. Nicole, c'est toi après? No, Nicole.
Did I say you? No, I forgot what I said. My name is Stephanie Moffat. I'm a artist manager and lawyer. Just for that reason, I have to agree with Marie-Denise and others here. The primary objective in your act is to find a way to fairly compensate authors who create the content on internet. As a society, we choose that all Canadians can have access to music on the internet. As a society, we have to find a way to pay them. The best example given to me yesterday when we were discussing this was, as a society, when we decided that each child had to go to school with milk, should have their little carton of milk in the morning. We said as a society we want our children to have this. We didn't ask milk producers to give it to them. So I think one of the means we could use would be to adapt the private copy scheme to new technology. And in 2009, we can't have a Copyright Act with excluding broadcasters. The market has changed. They're the ones who are at the entry gate. They receive the sums, and the power relationship between them and creators is quite unequal right now. And with this new act, you can give them means of negotiations to allow for compensation and attribution of income, which Canadian citizens would approve of. Thank you. Nicole.
Online piracy is a huge problem in Canada. The work of artists and creators is taken from them with no compensation and without their permission. All of Canada's trading partners have implemented WIPO reforms, helping to stimulate legitimate online markets and with no known ill effects. Why has it taken Canada so long to modernize our copyright laws? When can we expect action in this country?
Merci. Last but not least, mic number 3.
Thank you again for the opportunity. I just want to actually rebut comments or throw in something on. One of them is a gentleman said that you couldn't copy a car. And I'd just like to draw a distinction there. You can't copy a car commercially, but I know lots of people who've gone in and bought parts and made parts and in their own personal garage rebuilt their favorite car of the childhood because it just simply wasn't possible to go and get those parts or buy those parts. So I think that that really isn't a valid analogy in this situation. Or maybe it's even better of an analogy because you have the distinction between commercial mass reproduction without license and personal reproduction for the purpose of personal enjoyment. The other thing that I wanted to mention was a gentleman who identified himself as an IP lawyer and the hired gun. I want to draw another distinction here is that, yeah, he probably does a very good job at what he does. He does a really good job representing copyright holder interests, but not necessarily creator interests. If I want him to hire his services, I don't believe I'll be able to afford it. I have a legitimate copyright issue against a major corporation and a dying industry in publishing. They copied my material, they derived revenue from that material, but there's no way that I as an individual content creator can afford to hire that hired gun because he's just too expensive for me. And even at the rate that even at the lowest rate that I can negotiate with the lawyer, the farthest I could go was to send a letter which was promptly ignored. So I just want to make sure that there's a distinction between the content creator who says, hey, that's my material that someone else is making money off, and often even the industry itself, and the industry who can afford to go out and hire that hired gun. Thanks.
Merci beaucoup. Maintenant, pour finir la session, je vais donner la parole à Monsieur le Ministre.
I'll give the mic to the Minister. Thank you, Mr. Jean-Pierre Blais, who has helped us so much today. Thank you very much, Mr. Blais. I'm very lucky to have you in my department and with your whole team today.
Being here today, as I said, today's session is going to be available online, so if you want to review what you said and be very proud of what you said and the interventions you made on behalf of yourselves and your perspective, you're obviously free to do that. We're going to have more of these town halls. There's one in Toronto coming up, as I said, Winnipeg, Quebec City, Halifax, elsewhere. And of course, the conversation is going on online. Copyrightconsultations.ca, consultationsdroitdauteur.ca. The conversation is continuing on there. As I said, we're going to go forward with legislation that we believe will be in the best interest of all Canadians. And I really appreciate the broad diversity of views that we heard here today. Your decision to come here today to be involved in this conversation is incredibly helpful to myself, to Mr. Clement, to our government. And when we put forward legislation, I know that the debate will continue forward through that in the fall. We really want to get this right. There's been a lot of talk about this for a very long time. We think we have a window of opportunity here to modernize our legislation, which in the long run will serve the best interests of all Canadians, and not just protecting, but also looking forward and seizing opportunities that exist with new technologies and really doing what's in the best interest of Canada. So thank you all very much. Merci beaucoup. Je vous souhaite une bonne journée.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.